Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you guys are here. First off, I just want to say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all more than you know. And thank any of you who come in to check out my knife musings, my EDC content, my disassembly videos, unboxings, whatever it is that brings you in. Thank you. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're so inclined and have just a second, if you would hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon, it really help me out, and it'll also notify you when I release new content, go live, do random stuff. So today, in this video, I've been going through my collection, looking at it a lot of different ways, and I wanted to look at knives from a couple years past that still stand tall in my collection, that I'm really enjoy, that I carry. In some cases I have multiples of. And starting out with the Artis and Cutlery, is it the Arion? Guys, I'll have to, it is the serial number 18430G. S35VN Serbius Blade Works. I know it's not the I gave away those. It's the Artis and Cutlery area, I think is what it is. And this is the full-sized area, which is a middle to large size knife. I thought of it kind of as a gentleman's folder, an urban EDC get it done knife. You've got a nice long thin blade, you've got a titanium lockside handle with a lock bar, and then you've got this micarta show side scale that's done very, very well. The Serbius blades, the collaboration between these two companies came out with just a really pokey, stabby, therapeutically slicey little knife. One I really enjoy cutting with. Has a real light milling on the back side where that titanium is. Kind of hard to see, but the pocket clip works fantastically well, whether you're putting it in dress pants or you're putting it in blue jeans. It's just a very, very nice knife. I can get a full 4-finger grip on it. It definitely has Slurpee saver potential if you need it to. It is on ball bearing actions, and with that frame lock, it only has the thumb flick hole, which is how when I first got this knife, it was the only way I could open it, was to thumb kind of roll and flick it, or use my front finger, because I was a front finger flicker guy before I was actually able to dial in my rear finger, who I learned, unbeknownst to him, even though he did a video on it, my brother Jake at Bearded Gear. He has an old video on his YouTube channel where he taught JuhVon, who was older than him but was just a mere lad in the knife game, how to middle flick his Spyderco Shaman. So when we review these 5 kind of knives from a day gone by that I have no problem carrying today, and they would stand up to anything I'm carrying in my game, this is the Artis and Cutlery Arion, and it is going to come in at number 5. And that's going to bring us to number 4, which is a very cool tactical EDC get it done knife that you can tell it was one of my earlier purchases because it's a flipper only. But this is a carry collaboration with Monterey Bay Knives, and they came up with this Turbo. The Turbo is, when I first saw it, a beautiful knife. Titanium lined. You got the ZDP 189 shielded blade. Very, very, very thick very thick behind the swedge here. This knife, guys, may be a splinter digger, but it will definitely be a rib cracker. I mean, this thing is very slicey for the thick grind that it has, but if you look at the blade stock, very slicey, but very pokey. On an absolute laser beam. The action on all of these knives, I would love for this to have some kind of way to have a thumb stud, and an easy mod would do that. But the flick, you cannot fail it. I'm horizontal. Get the lock bar out of the way. It just control falls home. Controls falls home. And that is a knife that may be still available on Monterey Bay's website. This is the 3/4 backspacer micarta variation, titanium clip, really nice hardware, perfectly centered, very aggressive blade that I find to be just a great, well-made tactical folder that I can use as an EDC knife and know that I've got the job covered. Just another one of the 5 that are great knives from days gone quite by, to be quite honest with you. So now we'll go to number 3, which is a knife that's not quite as old, but that's been updated. It's been updated with S90V, and it has been updated with a front flipper. I actually like this knife a whole lot. This is the Miguron /AM8 Gladiator clip point. This first version was an M690. It's got this wonderfully DLC coated blade and titanium that gives it just a one-of-a-kind look. You've got these blue pivot collar, a little bit of bronze here, and you've got your blue thumb studs. This guy drops like a fiend. I can either middle finger flick it, I can thumb flick it, I can use my traditional light switch, or I can push button it. Anyway, it's going to fly out. It's going to be on the medium large size. It does have a very good clip that goes in and out of pocket. Nobody's business. This is going to be one of the larger knives on this knives John's kept that are over 2-3 years old. But guys, look at the edge on this thick blade. And that clip point is just deadly. So yeah, the AM8 by Miguron Gladiator. I love the color. I love the size. It is a little bit beefier, but it's no beefier than a PM2, right? So if we were going to look at a knife like this and put it up against a PM2, we're not getting any thinner knife in the PM2. And again, this is just a fantastic knife. I love the color of the blade. I love the color of the titanium handles. I love the little bronze accent. I think it's just quite a win. And this will be our number 3 knife. And it will be the Miguron /AM8 Gladiator multi-deployment. Great knife. Solid knife. One I hope to keep in my collection and hopefully start to carry more. Moving on, we come to one of my favorites. When I say one of my favorites, this is one of my early favorites. This was one of the first Vero knife I picked up, but probably one of the first lefty EDC inspired purchases I picked up. And that was this Vero Axon. I pre-ordered it. I waited for it. I was happy to get it in, amazed at how light it is, amazed at how well it fires, how ergonomical it is in my hand. I've got different scales for this. I've got some black and white G-Carta scales, I guess you'd call them, so I can change up the look if I really want to. But I put the micarta scales back on there because I really like it. It is OEM by Bestech, has drop shut action. I can front flip it, even though it's not designed to be a front flipper, but you can sure get your thumb in there, or for me, the middle finger flick is cash money. I like this knife so much in the folding variation that I sought out and picked up the fixed blade variation, which is the same length, but you'll notice we're working with a thinner stock and a much thicker handle, or thinner handle. So love, love, love my Axons. I didn't know whether to make this one number 2 or number 1, but number 1's a sleeper that I used to love. I had it in the collection. I had a chance to trade it for a knife I never carry, but it was with a good buddy, so I traded it, and then I had a chance to pick it up again in a different blade steel. And yes, I am talking about my favorite Giant Mouse, the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. This is the knife, the St. Nick's Knives exclusive in Vanitas steel, which is the tool steel if I'm not mistaken. But this knife is made by Riot, I believe. I believe this is a Riot made knife, has red G10 handles, and has this Vanitas tool steel, which is one of these knives. It's a thick blade. If you've handled an Ace knife, they're not thin, but this one's blade geometry is instantly the most therapeutically slicing knife in our little collection of 5 here. I had an Elmax micarta satin finished Ace Grand before I had this one, and that's the one that I traded with. Actually, I had 2. I had this one and I had the micarta, and Dark Gravity wanted to trade the micarta for his, he had a Timascus Concept Bulldog, and I didn't need 2 knives, even though this was one of my favorites, and I knew the little Atelier would be coming out. But this knife, from the pear-shaped hole, the jimping, I really like that aggressive thumb stop there. Perfect sharpening choil. Great lock geometry. Great cutting geometry. Well-refined swedge. Just a really good example of a pocket knife. So these are 5 knives that, going through my collection, I don't look at every day. And they're fantastic knives. They're knives that I want to try to, guys, get some of my older knives in a rotation to where I'm actually able to enjoy them, to carry them, to set, to set some kind of schedule where I'm carrying my knives when it makes sense to carry my knives. That's the game. That's what I want to be able to do more. So I think by breaking them out, kind of taking a look at them, seeing what's what goes with what, this was kind of my medium large, not forgotten knives, because they still got a very special place in the case. They just don't get out to play much. So hopefully we'll get to get these in the rotation more. 5 really good knives, guys, that you probably haven't seen in a while, because there are a lot of knives in my collection that a lot of you probably never seen for the first time. So I'm going to start bundling some of these together. Some of the ones that mean a lot to me, maybe not as much now because I'm carrying something different, but they sure did, and I sure go back to them. That's the great thing about a good knife. You can fall in love with a knife with a perfect choil, love it, get something new in. It's almost like it takes your fire from that knife, because you only have so many knives that you can carry. And then if you're in the position where you decide you're going to take your crazy hobby that's non-sustainable and you're going to start a channel to try to show other people knives, well, then you're buying more knives. So when ones stay in your collection, it's good to go back, and I think I can make some very interesting content to bring some knives to y'all's attention that might hopefully still be available where you can, whether you are experienced on the knife, knew it was there or not, have a chance to discover something new, right? That's part of the fun of it. But guys, I appreciate you all. I'm glad you're here. Let me know if this is the kind of video that makes any sense. When I do these multi-knife videos, the views seem to be about 3 times as much if I do a single knife. And I've got so many ways I can break the collection down. And for me, as someone who watches videos, I like to absorb content that way. But this channel is y'all's channel. I want to make sure I'm bringing you the content that you want to see. Because I appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for always watching my videos. Please, please, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for that guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.